Hello to all of my viewers tuning in. My name is IamLovelyAnn, and welcome to the official launch of the Pulsating Thoughts podcast. Today, I have with me Miss Nicole Binns, and we are going to crack into this episode, my very first episode, Till Death Do Us Part, A Widow's Journey. So, Nicole, welcome, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem at all. Before we get started, I want to, of course, once again extend my sincere condolences on your loss to your husband, and those condolences is extended to anyone who is affected by the loss of his death, his mother, siblings, children, whomever. So, just thank you, because I know things are still fresh for you. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So, before we get started, I want to do an icebreaker.
Okay.
I want to share my very first fond memory of you. Do you
have girl, oh Lord. Woo! Because we go back.
I'm going to take you back to the 80s. Carroll City Elementary. Morning announcements. And that was me. Miss Whitmire and the members of Carroll City Elementary School family. I'm your host, Nicole Davis, and it just went.
Yes.
You did that, all throughout elementary school?
All throughout elementary school. I want to say I probably stopped when they stopped airing it. Like when they stopped. But I will say, I think I did that all the way through elementary school. I know it was like first grade, it was second, third, it was fourth, and I want to say fifth because I don't think we had it. I don't think they were doing it the same like when we were in the sixth grade, when I was in sixth grade. But basically all through elementary school, yes, I was on the morning announcements every day.
Every day, I remember it all through elementary school.
Yes, every day.
And then I remember me being on it one episode, girl, and got stuck. I was like, this
ain't playing, right? And now look at you.
I look at me. See how everything come around full circle. So.
Yes, it does. Now look at you doing whole interviews, okay? You can't run from the camera, girl.
You would think. So, so just to refresh my memory, we're going to go ahead and move forward with this interview. If my memory serves me correctly, you lost your husband right before the holidays in 2022, correct?
Yes, right before Thanksgiving of 2022. So I lost him November 2nd.
November 2nd.
November 2nd of 2022. And of course, Thanksgiving came around, and that was our first holiday without him. So it's like when people say, oh my God, the holidays are coming, I'm like, well, I had already experienced that right out the back. Like right out the gate, I had no choice, of course, but it was like Thanksgiving came, he wasn't here, and of course Christmas came. So when people think like, oh, you got to experience it further down the line, no, I didn't have any time to even process his death, really, because then, like I said, November 2nd, he passed. December, the kids, like, they expecting Christmas to come, and I'm still in shambles. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, I don't understand. I don't know how I'm going to really sit up here and want to celebrate anything, because I'm still in shambles, and don't get me wrong, the kids were affected as well, but it's a lot different for them because they're still in the joys of things. Okay. And my mind, I'm just like, we can't celebrate him. Like, he's not here. This isn't right for us. This is the whole new world.
So when doing this podcast, one of the things I wanted to do was just stay true to myself. And I really want to, when I think about podcasts and us watching podcasts, us having these organic conversations, right? And then when we talk about relationships, because everybody, when you get on social media, everybody, I want to be married, I want this, I want that. But very seldom do we really think about the vows portion of the marriage, right?
Really, till death do us part.
So when we have the to have and to hold, for better or for worse, for rich or for poor, and then to death do us part. Like, we can't predict what that for better or for worse will be. We don't know. You get what I'm saying? We don't know. for Richard, we love the rich days. I remember when my best friend got married and the pastor asked her to recite for Richard, and she was like, for Richard. And then when she got to the poor part, she was like, for poor. You know what I'm saying? So people,
nobody want to deal with the poor part.
Right? Then now here you are, upholding your portions of the vows to death do us part. You get what I'm saying? And so I raised the question, what happens when that to death do us part comes a little bit faster than expected? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's almost like you're being stripped.
Right.
Because honestly, we say to death do us part, but nobody's talking about the death. Okay. Just like you said, like your friend, oh, it's rich or for poor. She yelled out rich, but she ain't yelled out for poor. And you don't yell out death. You don't yell it out. And we know that it's inevitable. Everyone will have to go. I mean, but you don't yell that out, And the thing is, me and Andre really, if anything, talked about death. Like, it was never us parting, or if we did say something about it, it was like, sure, we gonna live forever. And then when we do go, hey, we probably gonna go together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you get attached. You attach to the person. But we never talked about, oh, if you go and you could go date. None of that, because we didn't. And I hear other, even on me, interviewing other widows, like they'll say, their husbands may have, like, they talked about that, like, oh, go and it's okay, date. Yeah, Andre ain't never, baby. Who dating what? No, you mine forever. I'm yours. Like, that's just, you'll keep it real. You can say, because who wants to talk about that? No. And then on top of that, to throw the death into it. But it's like, your whole world definitely does get stripped, because at this point, when that person leaves, and I know, like, in my case, I didn't expect him to go. I mean, he went out. I'm thinking he's coming back home. It wasn't like he was sick. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all of that. Like, oh, I had time to, like, really, like, prepare and, like, let him go. I didn't. It was a quick, like, and it was, and, like, it was almost like he vanished. You get what I'm saying? He vanished into thin air, and I had to learn to keep going. I mean, even in the midst, like, I'm still learning. Like, it's not something that you just do overnight. You get what I'm saying? Especially, like, with the kids, it's a constant, like, Mama, what you think Daddy doing? What you think Daddy got going on? And it's because I tell them so much about, the spiritual world. Like, God is very real. Like, Daddy, his soul went on, you know what I'm saying? And we still have to live here. So, they always ask me certain questions, but it's definitely like you get stripped. And at that point, if you don't have, I'm gonna be totally honest, if you don't have a relationship with God, you are gonna, you probably gonna be burying yourself too.
Wow. So before we get into all of that, let's go back a little bit. Share with people your love story.
Ooh.
Okay, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Me and Andre, we knew each other since the 7th grade. So we girl, I guess you could say dated in middle school. Because my children bet not be there dating nobody in middle school. But we dated in middle school. We always stayed connected. It will always be every year. Andre will always call me on my birthday, wish me her birthday, no matter where we lived, no matter what was going on in our lives. Like, so we always stayed connected that way. Gotcha. But then, of course, he went on, he lived his life. He was doing his thing. I was too. I was doing, living my life. Right. And then we ended up getting back together from Facebook. Like, we had saw each other on Facebook. I seen him a couple of times, like when I would come down from college, but it was never anything stuck in stone. I was just like, hey, and going on, Then, we got connected back through Facebook when he was living out in California. Oh, wow. And we talk all the time, and you could never tell that it was a time difference, because it was just like we would talk like regular. Like, so if it was early in the morning, he would get up to talk to me, because I was up. Difference. Yes, that used to be a 3-hour time, and you could never tell. And he actually came one year to Miami and took me out for my birthday. Cause like I told you, he always called me on my birthday, but he said, this time I'm gonna take you, and we actually went to Key West. That was my first time ever going down to Key West, and we drove and we had a great time, and we just had been hooked since then. Like, we just reconnected, and that was our story. And we moved to Georgia and started our family here, started our different businesses here, and it was just, that's what it was. Like, that's just, I don't know, you could just, when people say you just get together, you just get together. It wasn't even, yeah, I remember at one point I was like, are you gonna ask me to be your girlfriend? He was like, ask you? Who does that? Like, yeah, like, you gotta ask me, like, old school. He like, I ain't said no. I mean, we go together. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay, cool.
What's the proposal?
Oh, girl. So the proposal was actually in this room here. I'm here at my parents' house today, but the proposal was actually here. Him and my dad went and picked up my ring. I had no clue what they were doing, where they were going. And I guess at that time, I'm assuming he asked my dad then. I don't know when he asked him, but I'm assuming they had a talk and ended up coming back, here. And I was just up here. I can't even remember what I was doing, girl. I think I was watching TV or something, and he just came up and was just like, got on one knee, and I'm looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, what? And he brought the box out and was like, will you marry me? I'm like, what? Why like, where's everybody? Like, my mom was downstairs. She had no clue what was going on. Like, so I'm like, nobody got a picture of this? Like, we didn't even get no video. We didn't get nothing. It was just us two just like, will you marry me? And I was like, sure. And I came downstairs, like, screaming to my mom and them, oh my God. And then my mom was like, what? Why y'all didn't wait on me? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I didn't know that this was going on, so, but it was just, in that moment in time, it was for us and for anybody. It was our moment.
It was our, and it was unique and special for you.
Yeah.
People get on social media and they got to be all these big brands.
Yeah.
And it was just you and
it was just us. And I mean, don't get me wrong. This was our moment for us. That's just how it was. Andre was the type of person, he was gonna do things his way anyway. Okay.
How was it, y'all first child? Share some light on his how he was as a father, and what was that experience for him?
Girl, listen, let me just say, so anybody who knows who knew my husband, he was very vocal about a lot of things on the internet, baby. If something ruffled his feathers, he was gonna let you know. But when it came down to these kids,
and he was very vocal about that, baby. Okay,
right, he was very vocal about that. He was a different person,
right?
A totally different person. So when it came down to the family man, yes, definitely he was gonna go to war for us if he had to. But when it came down to it, as a dad, Andre was a great dad. I mean, I can't even, to the point, I'm not even talking about just doing things around the house, to the point of how he communicated with them from when they were babies. It would be like me. I'll be like, I don't know what they over there crying for. Like, I'm tired. And he'd be like, I don't know, let me get him, So he'll get a baby and then be talking, and then it'll be like, oh, they, he probably won't this. So like, he was able to communicate with them way better than me, because my mind frame was, I'm tired. I'm already the cow in the house, and I'm gonna lay this baby down. I don't care what they crying about. This baby just gonna be tired. I'm gonna make them cry till they get tired. He was just like, no. He was very hands-on with them. He was always one wanting to take them to the park. Me, like I said, girl, I be tired. I be like, all right, y'all going on by yourself. But it was like, no, come on, let's all go together. Doing things with them, teaching them things early on that he was taught later in life. He was teaching them early, yeah.
That it would have, you know what I'm saying? That this could have came into
no. No, not even knowing. I mean, in his heart of hearts, he would say to me, because like he didn't think that he would live past the age of 21. So yeah, so he would say to me, like he had started saying to me, like, "You're gonna go before me. I mean, I'm gonna go before you." And I'm like, why would you say that? He's like, I don't know. I just have a feeling like, he was like, I'm probably gonna go before you, but if that was to happen, he was like, I don't have no worries. I know that you're gonna take care of everything. And I'm just like, man, and I look back on it, I'm like, why didn't I probe that more? You get what I'm saying? I just didn't, because I didn't want to talk about it.
And they say that sometimes people have that sixth sense, like they know something is going to happen, just don't know when.
Right.
I recall you posting this video. I think it was on his death anniversary, and it's a video of you caught him walking out the door for the last time on your ring camera, and it's just a video of just him walking out the door.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that day you will never forget, right?
It was a typical day in our house. At the time, we're doing homeschool.
Okay.
Oldest two, so they were doing homeschool, and so they were already, we were already up. I was already up, and he was getting ready to head out because that day he was going to meet with some of his college buddies from Tuskegee. They were having their homecoming, but they celebrated a lot here in Georgia,
Right.
Being a bigger city, and so he was getting ready that day to go hang out with them. So he like, well, I'm gonna go get a haircut. I got something running around to do, but I'll be back later. And I'm like, okay, cool. And when he left, I mean, we did the same typical thing we did all the time. We prayed together, just as normal. You get what I'm saying? And what was so crazy, because he would always bring the kids candy home. And so my daughter was like, Dad, don't forget to bring me candy. And I looked at her and I said, no, she can't get any candy because she was not over here paying attention in class. Because like I say, I'm the disciplinary. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, she wasn't even paying attention. And usually he'll override me and be like, all right, fat mama, bring you something. But this day, he just held the door open and looked at her and just closed the door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, when you look back on it, it's almost like he kind of knew, but he did. I had spoke to him, after he had left the house that day, and I asked him, I had asked him to do something for me, and I noticed he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what it was, but it was something that I knew that he would have done right away. And I started calling. I'm like, he ain't picking up, and that's weird too. But I said, well, he could have left his phone in the truck, anything. I'm not sure. Phone could have died, because sometimes the phone will still ring even if it's dead. So I'm just like, well, I don't know. Maybe he'll call me back. But at this point, I had got busy with the kids. So with my business and having the kids at home, because none of them go to daycare. My two little ones, they've never been to daycare. Then I got the two oldest ones, being homeschooled. You get kind of busy, and time could just go by, and with running businesses. So I was actually trying to plan for my Black Friday sale. So I was busy counting inventory. I was just doing other stuff. Then the time went by again, because now I'm like, wait, hold up. He still ain't hit me back. I'm like, okay, now what's really going on? So now I'm texting, hello. You don't see me texting? Like, you don't see me calling you? What are you doing? What do you got? I'm like, what do you have going on? Hello. Regular stuff. Never got an answer.
Wow. So how did you find out?
Actually the police. I mean, it was just like it was, ooh.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Wow.
Oh, just the call that day, just, what I'm saying, just getting notified that day, just the police that day, just everything that day. after and just finding out, and they're just saying, you know, can they speak with me? Yes, this is me, you know, yeah, you know, do you know about Andre Benz? I'm like, yes, you know, yeah, I sure do. Like, so what's going on? Well, you know, we have him in here for the Lord.
I think I lost you for a
Oh, there
minute.
we go.
There we go. Yeah, I lost you for a minute.
You know, it's like why is he there? I'm not understanding, but at the same time, I'm trying to process it, but then I'm thinking I can't really react because of my kid.
Right.
So at this point, you know, my parents come over to our house, and I'm just stunned. I'm on the floor, but I'm not hollering because I still the kids. So my you know my dad came, my mom and dad came, and I was cooking dinner that night, you know, anticipating for Andre to get home. We about to all eat. And my mom, I noticed she started, you know, cleaning up the kitchen for me, and we just sitting there in just total shock. Cause at this point, like, cause now it's nighttime. It's 7 o'clock. So this whole time I'm calling the phone, I'm thinking that you alive, and you're not. And so now I have to gather myself. I just, you know, we ended up coming to my parents' house that night, and you know, my parents was just like, "Do you want to tell them now?" And I'm like, "I have to." Andre is a very active dad. They will start to question me. Where is their dad? It's never been a time that we go to sleep and their dad is not there. So yes, I have to tell them tonight, and to tell them
I know that was hard. That was hard.
and to tell that he'd never be back was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. And not just to say for me, but for the children. You know, like, I don't know the experience of losing a father, but, you know what I'm saying? My father was still alive. So I think of it on the sense of losing their dad. And then it turned back to me like, I lost my husband.
Mm.
And I'm like, this has to be a joke. You're gonna call me tomorrow. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you about to call me. And never got the call. You know what I'm saying? I never got the call. I never heard his voice again.
Mm.
Never heard it again.
About to cry these lashes off,
Don't
Jesus.
cry. Don't cry. I know I'm trying not to
Woo!
make it be so ugly. Okay.
How you want it? You know, I know talking about it is, in a sense, kind of reliving the whole thing all over again. So, you
And
know,
I'm way better than what I used to be. Girl, you couldn't even get me to utter nothing about it without seriously hyperventilating. I used to cry so bad that I couldn't even breathe. You know, I would be on the phone with my friend, and it would be like they used to be calling me, telling, "Hey, somebody need to get to her like now because she can't breathe." You get what I'm saying? Like I'm hyperventilating. I'm crying so much. I'm like, this is not right. This is not fair. This ain't life. Like, how did this happen to me?
in the midst of still trying to be a mom, you know,
Yes,
it's, you know, who's pulling on you from a different direction,
yes,
trying to mourn, you get what I'm saying, then trying to plan the, you know, the whole funeral thing.
yes. It was just
It's that's a lot to deal with.
listen. It was a lot. I'm trying to run a business. I'm trying to do everything. It got to the point I couldn't even run my business on the phone with the people, you know, because I take customer service very seriously. So if they package is missing, I will usually call them, you know, hey, you know, I'm sorry that your package, you know, let me see what we can do. But I couldn't even be on the phone with people. I'm talking about I'm balling. I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about the package, but it's still on my emotions is still all over. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I have to tell him, I'm like, I'm so sorry. My husband passed away, and I'm really still trying to press on. And they be like, it's okay. And I got to the point, I'm like, Nicole, just stop for a minute. Because you keep trying to go and you need to stop. So I will say, like, he passed November 2022. 2023 was such a blur to me. Especially the first half, like it was a blur. I was living it. I was doing everything, but it's a blur.
So now let's discuss this new normal, because now you have this new normal where you went from a life that you're used to having your husband with you. You guys are co-parenting, running businesses. He's balancing you, you're balancing him. Now he's no longer here. So you have this new normal with you, because you still have to, as a woman, as a mom, try to keep yourself within this space for the sake of these lives that you have looking at you every single day. And then you're still trying to balance the emotions of your children, the different, and I don't even really think it even really hit them yet. You get what I'm saying? Like, they know, but as they grow, the teenage years, when the boys are starting to try to figure themselves out and come into manhood, is really when, stages to it.
Right.
How are you dealing with this new normal?
Well, number one is God. So I always tell people, like, because people would look back on my husband's background and be like, he was so rough, he was in the streets, he used to do, and like, oh, you saved him. No, actually, he saved me. He saved me. So I wouldn't be as rooted into God if it was not for Andre. Now, that's one thing he did not play about in our house. When it came to God, or it came to somebody saying, oh, they don't believe in God, he'd be like, well, them people ain't for us. Like, because we ain't even playing the radio. You get what I'm saying? Like, he first taught me how to pray. Like, I will be praying like, all silent. He be like, we gotta speak to them demons. Like, cast them out. He the one who really taught me that, but I still wasn't fully walking the full walk. You get what I'm saying? So now, with his death, and I hate I told God, and I apologize so many times. I hate the fact that Andre had to go for me to truly realize how powerful you are, because we say we know God's power, but you don't know until you hit rock, until you in the pit. Like, and the only person that's gonna lift you out is him, So, like, my walk with God, that's my new normal. I don't do nothing without him. At this point, God is my husband. I don't do nothing without every decision. Like, I have to place it before God. And I have people that come to me, oh, Nicole, can you do XYZ? Let me think about it. Like, because I'm gonna go consult God. You get what I'm saying? Instead of yeah. Because I can't, because I used to do that with Andre. I will be like, hey, you think we should do this? Well, do that. So Andre has truly saved me. So my new normal, is thanking God every day. My new normal is telling God, like, yes, it's happened in my life, but you said that you would be a father to the fatherless, you would be a just to the widow. Like, I need you to step up. You ain't no liar now. You ain't man where you lie. So you better come through with the come through. Like, that's how I be talking to God. I need you to make sure you come through.
And sometimes it's just having a basic conversation with God.
Yeah, it's just having a basic conversation.
So, question, and I hear this a lot from people. Were you angry with God?
At first, I was.
You was.
And I can't even say I was more angry with God. I was more angry with Andre.
Really?
Yeah, and I was angry with him because Andre ended up having, when the autopsy came back, he had a aneurysm, aorta aneurysm. And so I was more angry with him at the fact that as many times I told you, let's go to the doctor, as many times as I told you, let's go, go see somebody about your side hurting, you always said, oh, it's okay. It's all right. It's nothing. it's gonna be okay. And it's like, well, this what took you out when I was trying to tell you, hey, let's get this checked on. So I was really more angry with him than versus God. God did, give me a lot of revelations about things like, we're not here forever. You get what I'm saying? And we don't know the time, we don't know the place, we don't know the hour, we don't know anything about it. We just know that one day our time here on earth will be up. So I wasn't more so angry about that. I did start to get angry later on about the fact, I'm like, how did you take him from us? How am I supposed to raise these kids? How am I supposed to keep going? How am I supposed to? I thought you gave me this position to be a wife. Like, why did you do this to me? Like, I started saying those things, but not necessarily like angry, but I wanted answers and I wanted them now. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he did show me in scripture everything that I needed to know was right there in scripture. Everything. So like I started to fully understand, all right, God, basically you got me through whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like even if my person is not here, God is God of all things. And like I'm supposed to lean on you. And therefore that's what I started to do.
God, awesome, awesome. Stages of grief.
Oh,
So stages. All right.
yeah.
So we have the denial.
Denial.
We have anger.
Anger.
We have bargaining.
Bargaining.
We have depression.
Depression.
We have acceptance.
We have acceptance.
So where
I'm at acceptance.
Okay, that was my question. Like, where do you believe you are?
I'm at acceptance. I don't think I could have gotten here without God. I'm gonna be totally honest because every time I ask God a question, He always referred me to scripture, what to read, and how it answered my questions on certain things. Yes, you will have bouts of depression. And what I notice about depression is depression will have you continually replaying the same thing over and over again, which is the past, right? And then it makes you be fearful of the future. I had to get rid of depression so I could see what God could do for me in the future. I was so stuck at one point in time to replaying. I was replaying the day. I was replaying every time I told Andre he should have went to the doctor. I was replaying every time that I spoke that last conversation I had with him. I was replaying every time he walked out the door. Like I kept replaying it. But what it was doing was it was putting fear in me, making me be like, oh, you know what? You ain't gonna be able to go on. How you gonna raise these kids? Oh, look at you. You got 4 kids, girl. You're gonna be walking around. People gonna be looking at you funny. Like, look at this girl. And it's like, cause I waited till I was 30 to have children with my husband. So it's like this was just never something that I pictured. You get what I'm saying? But when you in fear will have you thinking that something is wrong.
Right. With you.
Right, with you. And it's like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Like, this is a situation that happened in my life. And yeah, I still get sad. So I don't want people to think like just because you think you out of depression that you're not going to get sad. You will. I still cry. Like now I just cry. But like, am I to the point where I don't want to put my feet forward? No, that's not it. I have these children that are looking up to their mother saying, Mom, let's go. We can do this. My kids pick me up off the floor. Okay. They are so strong. They are the ones that be like, Mom, it's okay. Come on. They rub my back. They be like, Daddy would have wanted you to do this. Or Daddy would have wanted you to do that. And I look and I say, you know what? I'm so thankful that we show each other love around them so they know what love is. They know what it is. They know how to see it. But the stages of grief can have you down, but the main one I will say, like I said, is depression, because you kind of battle with that more than anything. Once you kind of get yourself out of, all right, cool, it's okay for me to laugh again. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for me to smile. Like it's okay to do my hair today. It's okay to want to put on clothes because we want to get so stuck in the past. The depression keeps you in the past till you like, I don't want to brush my hair. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to keep reliving that day over and over and over again. And you're going to end up in a sunken place.
I did recall too, you posted, you had shared, because you've always been very, you share bits and pieces of your life on social media and your whole process that you're going through. And I remember seeing one where you lost all of your hair. Your hair just started falling out.
Falling out. And it was so crazy because beforehand I would like cut my hair like in a bob, whatever. And I had my hair short like this before, but I just didn't perm it. I had it in a natural state, and Andre had named it Kizzy. So he didn't mind, what I'm saying, my short hair. It was great. He had it named it and everything. It was like, that's Kizzy. All right, we're gonna bring Kizzy out today. You ain't gotta do the wig, just bring Kizzy out, So I had already had short hair before, but of course I let it grow. But after he had passed, I had got my hair done for the services, and it was a quick weave, and I went to go take it out. And I'm blow drying my hair, and I'm like, wait, why isn't the blow dryer going all the way up now? Like, it was just that quick that my hair came out. Like, and I didn't even notice, that it was shedding. And I went to go and I just started touching my hair, and I mean, it was just coming out. It was just coming out by the droves. And I stood in the mirror for a minute, sad, because we are so connected to our hair. So I'm like, OMG, like I didn't lost my man, now I'm losing my hair. Like, I'm really going through. Like, I just did not expect that. You know what I'm saying? And girl, at the time I was still we were still living at my parents' house, because we didn't go back home till like 3 months after Andre
left the house.
Yeah, we had left the house. So I would go back, because we do have a dog. So I would go back to like feed the dog. I would go check on the house, but I didn't stay there. I had them left. So at this point, we were still at my mom and dad's. And girl, my hair was coming out, and I went to my mom. I was like, Mom, do you see something? She said, yeah. I said, what are scissors? She was like, what do you mean? I said, get the scissors. She was like, you just gonna cut it? I said, no, you gonna cut it. Cut all this off. Like, we stood there, and my mom just got the scissors. She was like, you sure? I said, cut it. I said, because in that moment, I heard God say, let it go. The enemy is trying to fool you to make you think that he's gonna keep you bound by your hair. It'll be another thing that you're worrying about. Right. Let it go. Like, I can make every hair on your head grow back thicker, stronger. Like, let it go. Girl, my mama got them scissors. It was scissor hand on the move, okay? And when she did it, I was like, "What? That's done. Let me just go wash it and put some stuff in it, I guess." And it, I was wearing it, in this natural state after, and after a while, I was just like, I just think I want to like relax it, but I don't think I would probably ever go back to hair now that I don't have hair.
Or you speak to the choir, because you listen,
you the one. You was free. Okay, I'm telling you, I don't think I will probably ever go back. Well, not for a while. You know what I'm saying? To having hair on my head, I feel so much free. It was almost like I needed to like shed that. It was like a liberation. It was like, all right, this the new you. Let's go. Like, let's. They say when a woman cut her hair, she about to be on to something, So
because I had a short pixie cut for about 8 years.
Yeah.
I went through my little midlife crisis, and I said, cut this off. And I cut that perm off. Then I grew my mohawk. And I got tired of that. Then I went down to the low
mohawk on you. That mohawk was fine.
I loved it. I wore my mohawk to the 20-year class reunion. Then right after that, I cut it off. And I went, had the little low boy for a while. So, girl, when it comes to me and hair, I don't have an emotional attachment to hair.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So right now I'm just in my little wig phase.
Exactly. You can throw it on and you can take it off. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? But me, I was so attached to my hair. You know what I'm saying? I was attached to my hair. Like, I was like, oh yes, because I hadn't cut it before. And then it was, it grew out. And I'm like, oh, I got a cute bob. Oh, my hair's so cute. Girl, that hair started falling out. I stood there in that mirror. I was like, yeah. was like, this ain't it. I'm not even finna try to hide this. I'm not finna buy another wig. I'm not gonna do any of that because it was like the enemy was definitely trying to keep me bound to my hair, making me feel like, oh, well, you ain't got no hair. Look at you now. Nobody, you really looking a mess. You get what I'm saying? I said, oh yeah, I got a trick for you. Let me get these scissors.
I got more compliments being bald than I ever did with hair.
Yes.
I got more being bald than I ever did with hair.
Yes. People tell me all the time, they like, Nicole, oh my gosh, we love your hair. And I'm like, thanks. I didn't do anything but mold it down, but I appreciate it.
So do you think there's a difference between a widow who have had her husband for a significant amount of time as opposed to a widow who only had her husband for a short period of time? Do you think there's a real difference between the two?
No, the only thing is time, and that would be the only thing. Maybe one couple had, way more memories than the other, but that doesn't mean anything because you could get with somebody. Let's just say you dating. You could get with somebody 6 months, you marry them, and you're together forever. Yeah. You could be with somebody forever, never marry. Then you marry. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the same like when you become a widow. Who's to say that couple had a lot of great years? You know what I'm saying? In between that time, they probably had more bad years than good. I've seen widows say, oh yeah, my husband gone. Woo, I get to relax. I'm like, oh, I could never. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like, men are not easy to deal with. Let's keep it real. But I would never utter out of my mouth like, oh yeah, good. He gone. I could take a break. Huh? Like, and I've seen a lot of widows that say that because during the time in their marriage, things wasn't good. They was just really there for that time frame, just holding on, probably because they've been holding on, but yeah, but I don't think there's a difference. I think as far as when it comes to death, people do grieve differently than others, but when it comes down to if that was your spouse, the love that you had for them, the future that you might have planned with them, that dream is shattered, so it's still the same type of heartbreak.
Right. What is your fondest memory of your husband?
His mouth, no, but oh my God, Andre would sing to me every morning, waking up. Like that's how he would wake me up. He would sing to me every morning or rap a song to me. And so I miss that. Like I miss even though it used to get on my nerves, because I'm like, boy, it is 5 a.m.
Oh, that
yeah.
Oh
yeah. If he got up early, oh baby, he was singing to me early. It didn't matter what time he got up, he would wake me up. And I'm like, really, babe? Come on, please. And yeah, because I love you, but you're the love of my life. Get out of my face. Like it used to make me mad, but now I miss it. I miss it so much. I don't think it's just like one fond memory. Like I really truly miss him, and I know that I will miss him for the rest of my life.
Now, if this may be a hard one, if you can have one last conversation with Andre, what do you think you would say?
If I could have one last conversation with him, I would probably ask him what would he want me to do? What would he want me to do now that he's gone? When he leaves. Because everything else we basically, would talk about. I knew I knew how to live with him. We never talked about living without each other.
Got you. What advice would you give to a young widow, or just a widow in general, who just recently lost their husband? What advice would you give to them?
Connect with God. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Don't lose yourself, because you could lose yourself in a marriage and you could lose yourself out of a marriage. You could you could just lose yourself. And don't allow the enemy to trick you into making you feel like you are less than or not worthy of anything, because that can come in, you know, when you are dealing with, you know, the death or, you know, stuff. Look at the kids. You know what I'm saying? They all coming in, you know. But when you are dealing with a death, you know, you just stay true to you, but definitely lean on God. That is my ultimate thing. Like, if just lean on God, I promise you, He is going to show you Himself. He will reveal Himself to you like never before.
Wow. So we wrapping it up. Them babies coming in. They like, Mama,
They like, Mama, you've been up here for a while.
All right, we wrapping it up. We wrapping it up. What advice would you give young married couples with you being on the other side of the tracks now? What advice would you give a young married couple who may be
record everything? Record everything. Record everything. Take a picture of everything. Record everything. Don't argue about petty stuff. I'm telling you, we think that we have more time than we do. Don't argue about petty stuff. The man left the pants on the side of the bed. See, because I used to argue about that. The man left the pants on the side of the bed. Just pick him up, girl. Just pick him up. Just because he gonna keep doing that for the rest of his life, and you keep picking him. Just ain't even worth the argument. You get what I'm saying? Just certain things, like, I ain't trying to say, you know, don't argue now. If they disrespecting you, all type of stuff. Now that's something totally different. But when it comes down to little things like that, don't argue over it. You know what I'm saying? Make as many memories as you can. Take pictures. Just do it all. You know, enjoy each other.
Gotcha. Yeah. What is Nicole up to now?
Well, Nicole is definitely trying to help and inspire widows to keep going and to lean on God and to know that it's going to be okay. You know, even you know, but right now I started the Wealth Society to help widows as far as like getting their credit back on track, because when a spouse dies, you lose income. Now your credit is shot. So I help women build their businesses, get their credits back on, to be able to still have those dreams that they wanted. Either it was probably building a house or having their own business. We can still do it with the help of God. We can still do it. So that's what I'm doing now.
Let people know it may be a widow who may view this podcast. So let them know, hey, how could they get in contact with Nicole?
Yeah, you can definitely follow me or find me on Instagram or Facebook. And it's I am Nicole Binns, BINNS, as my name is showing there on Instagram, but on Facebook it's BENZ. But you can find me there, or you can follow the Wealth Society on Instagram or Facebook, and you can get in contact with me there. We can set up a free consultation, just to get started and just to hear, you know, your story, what you have going on, because I'm sure I can help you. Trust me, you have the power to get wealth. Don't think that just because your husband is gone now that you are stuck, because you are not.
Nah. So my last question, and how would you finish this sentence? My name is Nicole Binns, and I'm
favored by God.
All right, girl.
That's it. Yes.
All right, girl. Thank you so much. Them babies coming in. So I'm
coming in, talking, doing all type of stuff.
Listen, I'm not gonna take up much more of them times. I know what it is being a mom, girl, and them kids coming in. My boys are a little bit older, but it wasn't too long ago that I was there, girl, when they were young. I just want to thank you again for being
thank you
podcast and just being a part of my very first episode.
Yeah.
So this is a more to come, but thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
So welcome.
I wish you the very best in every endeavor that your hands touch, girl. You know, you're gonna definitely overcome this situation, and you're gonna change so many lives.
Thank you.
And so just keep going, keep pressing towards the mark, girl. I mean, days, you're gonna have your good days, you're gonna have your bad days. You are allowed to have those, you know. Just take it one day at a time, and you're gonna get there.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're gonna sign out for now. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. Don't forget to follow her on all of her different platforms. If you feel that you can benefit from her services, go ahead and follow Nicole. But until then, we are going to sign out. Thank you so much, Nicole. You have a great day. All right.
Thank you.
So we'll talk later. Take care of those babies.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
Bye.